All right, well, welcome everybody, and thank you for joining us again on today's webinar. My name is Jarrett Ryan, and I am the ABB Brand Manager at ABB Technology. Hosting today's webinar is Ian Harding from ABB Australia. Ian is the Smart Buildings Product Marketing Manager and Certified KNX Tutor. This is webinar number 4 in an ongoing series of webinars co-hosted by ABB Australia and ABB Technology. And as usual, this webinar is being recorded, and you'll find the recording on the ABB Technology YouTube channel, organised into an ABB playlist. And I would encourage you to check out our other ABB recordings, which have to date covered KNX and daily lighting in some detail. Today's webinar, we're going to delve into the ABB Welcome door entry systems, right? Or intercom and access control, if you prefer that terminology. ABB has over 250 products and solutions in this category that support everything from an individual house to a large multi-res complex and commercial buildings. These systems can be deployed standalone or fully integrated into an ABB KNX system or a SIP-compatible control system. This is a 1-hour webinar with Q&A, so drop your questions into the Q&A panel and Ian will answer them at the end of the presentation. So with that, I will hand over to Ian.
Thanks, Jared. Thanks for the introduction. Couldn't have done better myself. Hello, everybody, and let me get everything started here. I'll get the show started. I will share my screen, which should be, I think, this one. Yeah. And just let me organize myself here. I'll turn off my video to save everything. And now we should be good to go. Okay. As Jared said, today I'm going to introduce the ABB door entry systems, the Welcome door entry systems. We have two main systems here to show today. We have the 2-wire system and the Welcome IP system. And all will be explained now as I bring you through this slide deck, where I'm going to show you 340 slides in the next hour. And I hopefully can keep your attention all the way through this. ABB has been in the door entry system market for really a long time at this stage, and we sort of came up with these ideas many years ago where we aim to deliver a secure, convenient entrance experience. It's all about making it simple and easy for the installer, for the end user, for people monitoring the building, for people managing the building. The whole idea was simplicity, security, flexibility, and connectivity, so that we made it easy for people to use our system. There's no point coming out with a wonderfully engineered system that we have and really make it too hard for people to use. Simplicity was the whole name of the game from the very start. So for users and professionals, the idea was to make it simple to install, simple to commission, and easy for an end user to use. Really, I see some systems out there and some people need a degree in astrophysics really to try and operate them, but we have decided that let's keep it simple and easy, straightforward, and at the end of the day, it saves time for everybody. Top of all this, of course, is security and safeguarding people's privacy and safeguarding people's property for them. People want to know who's calling to their doors these days. We all hear horror stories about break-ins, forced entries, and all those sort of things. It's all over the news all the time. But now we have a way to stop people getting through the door by seeing who's at the door even before we get there. We don't have to open the door anymore and see what's happening and going on. We have indoor stations, we have screens, we have all different ways to improve the security in our house. And as well as simplicity and security, we've got to think about flexibility. Very often we can install screens and systems into multi-story buildings, into single buildings, into single dwellings. And really, we've got to look at how easy is it for people to change the system, change the design. Maybe we want to add another screen. Maybe we want to change the outdoor station modules. And what can we do with it? So that's a key thing of it, is to make the system flexible so we can make the right solution for the end user, for the installer, and everybody involved with it. And at the same time, it has to be connectable nowadays. Everybody wants everything on an app. Everything wants everything in their pocket straight away. But the pure advantage, the advantages of having the app in your pocket, of course, are it enhances your security and your safety, because you can now answer your door from wherever you are. You can simply pull out the phone and you can answer any call that happens to come your way while you're there or while you're not there. Here's a brief introduction of the slides that I'm going to introduce. I'm going to look at a quick system overview. We'll have a quick run through the product portfolio, showing indoor stations, outdoor stations, system devices, digital service. And at the end, I'll show you some applications. So how do these parts all go together to provide a door entry system for users? First up is our Welcome IP system, which of course, as it says, it's an IP-based door entry communication system. So for installers nowadays, IP is an easy way to provide power and communications to all our devices. So we can install these throughout a building. We're virtually unlimited in the number of devices that we can put on these installations. And we can also integrate smart home products as well into this. We have HD video quality, and we'll always have remote door access with all panels. It's simple and it's easy to set up. The other side of this is our Welcome 2-wire solution. Now, the Welcome 2-wire solution is around a long time at this stage. And the key to the Welcome 2-wire is its simplicity and its ease of installation. As we say, it's a 2-wire system. There's a plus and a minus. You connect that to all the devices in your network. And once you've done that, commission the devices themselves with physical rotary switches, and the system works. There's no more needs to be done after that. There's a huge range of devices for it. We can reuse existing cabling, and this makes the system particularly useful for retrofits. And I've done many projects where old IP systems are torn out or we had problems with wiring, but as long as we have a 2-core bus system available to us, we can generally get it working, and we can really get into some tricky places. Like I said, I've done some jobs where there was some bad wiring, some burnt out cables and things like that. And as long as we could find 2 good cores in the cable, we could bell them out, we could check them, we could get a perfectly functioning door entry system in operation. Talking of that, we'll now look at all the product portfolio. So if we look at Welcome IP, well, obviously, you know, it's over IP, it's IP cabling, and its main applications are everywhere. We run from single houses to multi-story dwellings to offices to you name it, we can do it. We have a maximum size of up to 2,000 units in a building, which is really quite large, and we have a HD video quality. Integrations will involve SIP, local and cloud APIs on VIF and IP cameras. So there's really quite a lot. We're in the IP system. We can do a phenomenal amount of connectivity with this. We have mobile door calls via the apps, and we can software updates and have remote maintenance. Now, for installers, this is really useful. The ability now to maintain a system from afar means you don't have to drive everywhere and have a look. You can dial into the system, you can see what's wrong from our Pro Service portal. It makes it nice and simple and easy. And of course, it's best for new installs, probably in villas and mid to large size new buildings. Welcome 2-wire, on the other hand, is, like I said, it's a 2-wire system. Main applications are, you know, we can put it in the same buildings, but we're limited more to 250 units per building. Now, that's quite a big building. We do have ways to get around that. We can put 500, we can put 1,000 units into a building. But if we take a basic unit, we can take 250 in a building. Video quality is slightly lower. It's just standard norm video quality. Integrations, well, we don't have the IP access. We don't have AP access and all that sort of stuff. But we can add external cameras. We can put letterbox modules in and things like that. And most commonly used of all is the mobile door call via app. And that is, you know, both systems have that, both systems manage that, and both systems can configure that. It's a free service that people can use. ABB control all the security in the background. So again, everything is safe and secure. And it's really, really useful for small to mid-sized renovations. Again, if I look at an IP system, The system architecture, of course, is on a standard IP network powered over PoE switches. So that makes it really simple. You have power and communication over the one cable between all components of the system. Commissioning is easy via a single wizard if you are using in a single house. If you're looking at bigger installations, of course, you'll have what we call a smart access point. And via the smart access point, you can log in and see the whole building, and you can program, commission, and do what you need within the building. The two-wire system, sorry, is really simpler than that. You have a two-wire power supply, which gives us 29 volts DC external to the building, gives us 29 volt DC loop around the building. We have some distributors. We will have connections maybe to a local router, and that gives us app control and internet access. Commissioning is very simple. It's just rotary switches on the back of the devices, and that's all you have to do. You can give them a physical address. Every device will have its own individual address within the system, and we can call it no problem once it's electrically secure. When we look at the panels, we have a lot of panels. We have quite a wide range of indoor stations, as we call them. And sometimes it can be quite hard to decide what do we need, what do we want. If we look at the IP side of things, we can see we have three screens. We have an IP Touch 10-inch, an IP Touch 7-inch, and an IP Touch Lite 7-inch. Difference between them besides the size is the 7-inch and the 10-inch IP Touch can also integrate with your KNX or your free at home smart home system. If you have, I don't know, if you have blind control, you have lighting control, you have underfloor heating, whatever systems you have set up, you can interface it and control everything from the one screen. Again, it means we've less panels on the wall, it tidies things up, and it's the idea of bringing everything together. When we look at the IP Touch Lite, this system is just designed for door entry systems. It's not going to really give you as much control, but it's a slimmed down version really of the other two screens. When we look at the IP Touch, I mean, the user interfaces have all been upgraded recently. I don't know if anybody has seen these before, but up till recently, these screens have been available for many years, and they've all just gone through a reconfiguration, a firmware update, and giving us this new user experience and user interface that's available now on all our screens. As I said, there's an easy integration between ABB Free at Home and KNX over IP. We can connect via 2.4G or 5G Wi-Fi, so it makes it really, really easy to set up in most buildings. We've high resolution video, and like I said, we've the enhanced user interface, and we've integrated temperature sensors, induction loops, and there's so much we can do with these screens. They really, really are useful nowadays. When I look at the IP Touch Lite, as I said, it's sort of a scaled down version. It's the best value for money. You know, if you just want a video call and remote software managers, this is the guy to use. It's simple, it's easy, it's a 7-inch screen, and it can do everything we need on a Welcome IP system. You can see we can call elevators, we can, call guard units, we can have intercoms, we can have other cameras looking at the system as well. When I look at the two-wire system, again, we have another range of screens. We have the Smart Touch 10-inch and the Smart Touch 7-inch. And again, these screens will give us access also to our Free at Home, to our KNX, and all these other systems. When I look at the right-hand side, we have the 7-inch display, we have the 4.3-inch Wi-Fi, and we have the 4.3-inch display on the very right-hand side. Difference between these screens is these are purely door entry screens. They don't have any other functionality into them. The 4.3-inch Wi-Fi screen is very, very useful if you want to put in app control as well, because it will connect to the home router over Wi-Fi, and from there then you can now connect to our service to give you remote door access control. The Smart Touch 10-inch again is, you can see again, it's the same user interface. All the devices now have been brought to the same user interfaces. They look good and everybody likes it. Again, we have a twisted pair connection for KNX free at home and ABB Welcome. We've Wi-Fi connectivity, again, for our app access portal. We have an award-winning design with, like I said, I mean, these screens now all have the enhanced user interface for ease of use. It's very, very simple to use. You can see it. There's a number of pages. You can slide left, you can slide right. It has all sorts of access control built into the back of it. For installers, of course, there are advanced menus which are pin controlled, and you can stop sort of users getting in there, making a mess of the system, and keep it all lock and key safe and controllable. We also have now a new panel called the One Touch. The One Touch now is going to cross over all the systems. It'll give you a Welcome Tutor and a Welcome IP. The Welcome IP isn't quite there yet. It's coming towards the end of the year. This screen as well will connect directly in 2.4 or 5G, so it will access the best way it can to connect to your system. We can also bring free at home wireless is integrated into this panel. So if you don't know the free at home system requires a system access point, but for the One Touch, the system access point is actually built into the device. And being built into the device means it can wirelessly talk to some free at home devices. And another bonus for this is we will now have Matter integration through this device. So if we want to talk to other devices over Matter, we can bring in a One Touch, and the One Touch now enables us to bridge to these systems and integrate everything together smoothly and seamlessly. Again, here's our 7-inch screen for the 2-wire system. It's a clear screen. It's a clear, crisp screen. It's been around for a long time. It's simple, it's easy, and they're very, very reliable. Simple to install. As I said, there's a couple of dip switches on the back. For any integrator, he should know an apartment number. He can turn the dip switches on the back, connect it up, and it's done. There's nothing more to do with it. 4.3-inch Wi-Fi, as I said, this guy will connect directly to the homeowner's Wi-Fi. From there, you will be able then to access remote control. You will have remote calls. You can accept calls while you're sitting down the street. You can let the delivery guy in. One great example I had of this remote access was I was at a trade show in Sydney one time, and this guy came over to me. He saw we had the Welcome system on the stand, and he came over to me and told me how much he loved it. He had installed it and he had used it on his front door, and it was perfect, and he could control it remotely. But where it really saved the day for him was his children were 13, 14, 15, you know, typical teenage kids, off to school, come home, mum and dad are at work, and they'd lost their keys. So they were able to call from the front door to call him in the office, and from the office he could remotely open the front door and let the children in. So he said that saved him on so many times. He just had, his kids were forever losing keys, and he didn't want to leave sort of secret keys and secret hiding places around the garden. He found this a much better system, and just it was so handy, and forever his kids, you know, they had access and he could control it simply and easy. We also have these new 4-inch screens, and 4.3-inch screens, sorry. You can get them with a handset, you can get them simple. These are simple, small, cost-effective screens. You have all access control. The screen, even for its size, is quite clear and sharp, and you have enough buttons on the bottom. You can do anything you need. You can let people in the front door. You can deny them. You can call a lift. You can do all that sort of stuff from this little screen. It's very, very useful, very cost-effective. We sell these quite a lot, and we find that a lot of people like them because as a way to get into a project, they're great. And the sell up in the project then is, would you like to go to a 7-inch screen? Would you like to go to home automation? What would you do? So it's a starting point to get the door entry in, and it's a starting conversation generally for the homeowner. Here's an overview of all our different screens. We've IP Touch, Smart Touch, One Touch, and we have the system access point. So you can see our connectivity. These are all the IP devices. We all support visualization with field communication. Some of them are free at home. Some of them will be KNX. And you can see the cloud connectivity is available for all of these devices. And that's the important thing. They also have the mobile app. So the one app for door entry will now work with all these devices. The idea now is that for years, of course, we've all had multiple apps on our phones. We've had one app for maybe our, I don't know, our heating control, one app for our lighting control, one app for our door entry, we have an app for everything in the building. What we're now doing in ABB is trying to bring all these into one app. So you just have the one app now. We'll do your door entry, we'll do your free at home or your KNX or whatever you're working with. And it makes it much, much better. People find it much handier to use and much easier to use. So the whole thing, of course, is about security and convenience for the end user, to make sure the end user can use the system, because very often I find that we're in the business, we love the technology, we can work with the technology all the time. Half the challenge is that we know the technology well. However, the people coming in to use the buildings are not as aware of the technology as we were. So if we can make it simple and easy for them to use, tick, we have done a great job. Oh, sorry, I've gone the wrong way there. And for outdoor stations, we have multiple different outdoor stations for both systems. So when I look at the outdoor stations we have on the left-hand side, we have our IP outdoor station touch 5-inch. We have a nice 5-inch display on it. It's a touchscreen 5-inch. It's only an IP, and of course we have cards, we have keypads, we have QR codes. Any way you want to access the building, we can use it, and it's pretty intuitive to use. Again, we've made it simple and easy. For the next one, we have the outdoor station with display. You can see there's a keypad on that. And obviously what we can do is, we can enter an apartment number, call it from there directly. It's simple and easy. We can have text on the screen to instruct people. We can do all that sort of stuff. We can have cards, access cards, and these are available both for our IP system, for our 2-wire system. Third one in the middle there is our modular outdoor station. Again, you can build these up into all types as you need and as are fit. I would say 95% or more of all installations go with a keypad, but these modular installations allow you to put push buttons into cameras in. Whatever way you want to set up the system, you can design it, and we have various different displays available. The first family outdoor station then is a one push button, simple and easy. I mean, you can't get easier than having one push button for people to go up and ring on your front door. These are available in IP and 2-wire, and they can come with up to 3 push buttons. So if you had a small block of units with maybe 3 apartments, you can put one of these outside and it will easily work. Last but not least, you have the mini outdoor station. These are available on 1 and 2 push buttons. Simple, small, simple solution. I don't need to talk any more about these. I think you get the idea at this stage. Looking at the 5-inch, as I said, we have a 5-inch touchscreen with virtual buttons. There's an RFID reader with MyFire, DesFire. We have a keypad, and we can also give you a QR code to unlock the door. So there's various different things we can do with it, all done through the software. Design and security, well, it's a stainless steel frame, so it really is quite a good frame. Hard wearing, lasts a long time. IP54 and importantly IK07 protected. I have to say, since I'm in Australia now over 10 years, I have yet to see any of our outdoor stations smashed. I did see one, you see where just below the camera you have the frame is cut out for the microphone in the back. I did see one time somebody had put chewing gum in around that. What can you do against that? That's just as it is. But I have to say, certainly in 10 years, I have yet to see one that's been smashed or broken or had any real damage done to it. It's quite good, quite strong. Different types of modules. So we have all different. We have audio modules, video modules, display modules, letterbox, we have push buttons, we have fingerprints, we have information. You name it, we have a broad range of modules that will fit in. They just click into the frame. That's it, simple. You look at the frame, we have aluminium, you have white aluminium, you have anthracite colored, and then you have stainless steel. So they're the 4 different variants you have in that frame. And you will also have an audio version, and a pure audio version, and an audio and video version. 2 slightly different frames. As you see, it's from 1 to 10 modules in 2 columns with the possibility to combine multiple frames. I've never really seen that done. Most people will put 4 modules in, use a keypad, and that will generally cover all installations, and there's no other issues really. Mini outdoor stations are really handy for, for small installations, and certainly you may see these in some, say, apartment complexes where, sometimes you'll have a gate station that's you in the front gate into the whole complex. You then go up to somebody's front door, they may have one of these outside. So it's handy as a local door station, maybe a distance from you're walking into the complex, there's multiple apartments, multiple towers, multiple units. These are very, very handy in such instances where I've let you in the front, you're walking around the compound, you come to my apartment or my house, and then there's one outside. You can just ring this quite simply and quite easily. On the back of all this, then, we also have quite a broad range. Obviously, we have to have some sort of stuff in the background, but we've quite a broad range then of system devices that we need for the whole network to work together. If we go into the multi-story IP systems, we will always need a smart access point. So you see here, we can scale this up to about 2,000 users and 1,000 devices. So it's quite large. And I have not come across any projects yet that have sort of exceeded the capacity of what we can do with it. We have local APIs available for this. There's also SIP server and third-party systems integrations available. That's been launched new. It's quite simple and easy to set up calls to go directly from the front door via a SIP server to a SIP handset if you have it, for example. And another great feature that's been added to it is remote maintenance. So for the system installer and the system integrator, they can create a free account on our ProService portal, and you can remotely log into this and take control and have a look and remote maintenance. And you think of how many of these places are around the city. Think of Sydney, and you have to drive from one side of the city to the other, and it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, school traffic is there. Would you rather open your laptop and connect directly to it, or drive across the city and spend 2 hours sitting in traffic? I think I know the answer in a lot of cases is. Other components that we need, well, we have an IP audio handset, and I don't really see many people using these anymore. They used to be quite popular. A lot of people used to start off with handsets and go from handsets to video. But now there's such a broad range of video screens available that I haven't really seen a lot of these being sold lately. In connection to that, we have an IP actuator. The IP actuator is handy for triggering doors, for triggering remote gates, all that sort of stuff you may need to do. You can add it onto your system. Below that, we have an IP lift control, and the lift control, of course, is great as an interface to a lift control system. So the idea behind this is that I come up to the front door, I ring my friend in apartment 1207, for example. He answers the door, he lets me in. That same system will then integrate with the lift controller, and it will tell the lift controller, my friend in apartment 1207, who's on floor 12, now requires me to get in. So it'll open the front door, it'll let me into the lobby. I can walk over to the lift. The lift should call down to the ground floor for me. And when I go into the lift, then floor 12 will be desecuritized. So I can go in, press the button, and it will allow me to go through to floor 12. I won't have access to any other floor in the building because of the security that we've built in around this. It will only call floor 12 and allow me to get there. Last thing on this page is the IP guard unit. So some buildings may have a concierge or something like that. We can have a guard unit, can have access to the whole building from the guard unit. So the great thing about this is we can, if I'm at night, I can say after, say, 10 o'clock at night, divert all my calls to the guard unit. I don't want to be disturbed after 10 o'clock at night. Send it to the guard unit. I'm not opening the door for anybody. You can do all sorts of stuff, set up all sorts of functionalities. The guard unit, the idea being that it enhances the security of the building because we give the concierge full access and control. When I look at the 2-wire system, we also have another different range of parts and accessories available. We have, again, we have handsets, and we have audio handsets, hands-free with just buttons on the front. We have two versions of a system controller here in the middle. System controllers really, they supply power to all the devices in the network over the two-wire system, and they will control all the communications within it. We also have other components. We have audio and video distributors, there's camera interfaces, and switch actuators, and again, we have the same lift control setup. So we can do the exact same thing with the lift control setup. We can enable and disable that and manage lift control straight from the door intercom system. Guard unit, again, we have another version of the guard unit, and again, it's much the same functionality. It's just on the two-wire system. If we look now at what have we got in our apps and what's available on our apps. So, you know, the digital services are now available that they're enhancing the user experience and making everything easier for the end user. And that's really what we want to do. So as I said earlier, we have the one app now. And the idea of the one app is that you can bring in your controls for your home and your door entry into the one app. You do not have to wander outside this app. You don't have two separate apps. You don't have to go flicking between pages on your phone trying to look. It will all work, and it will call straight through to your phone. Effortless and easy. It turns out, as you can see, the video will slide through here. We have a customer plus solution, as we call it, and this is with a company called Mavinoid. The idea we have here is that it enables the end user to use a step-by-step guide to try and fault find in their own system. You can see here it goes through the whole, you know, how do we do, what's working, you know, what's not working. In some systems, you can actually have live support. We haven't got that in Australia, but it is available in some countries. At the end of the day, if a customer tries to use this app, goes to the help, follows the steps, follows the guide, you'll find in a lot of cases they'll be able to solve their own problems. We found that our customer support center in Germany at the time when we first launched this, they were getting, you know, 200 or 300 calls a day. They really were getting swamped by calls. What they were able to find was after they launched this Mavinoid and after they got customers to start using it, these calls dropped to about 30 or 40 calls a day from the 300 or 400. And it really was a way for customers to help themselves because, you know, very often you go to a call center, you're trying to get somebody to help you, you're on call, you're on a line, you're waiting in a queue. No, you don't have to do that anymore. You can go through this. If you don't get it, you can get through, you can send an email. At the end of this guide, I'm just half watching this as it's sliding through here. There is an option at the end to contact me via email. If I have problems, I can contact by an email. I often see these because if somebody has a problem, has an issue, these emails will go through to a mailbox that we have set up and I monitor. So very often I do get people where they get stuck, they have problems, they have issues, but definitely this helpline and this Mavinoid support has reduced the number of calls that I have to look after. And it really makes it easy. As well as that, we do have the Pro Service Portal. So as an installer, as an integrator, as a system manager, you can log into the system. You can go and have a look and see what's happening. You can see if a system's online, see if a system's online. You have complete management of the system from remote, and it's really easy to connect via a secure tunnel. And I think it's important to point out nowadays with cybersecurity and all that when you connect to this, you will connect to the ABB Pro Service Portal. And when you're connected to the ABB Pro Service Portal, there's a secure connection, of course, between your laptop and the portal. On the other side, there is a secure connection from the smart access point to the portal. And if you've been given access to that and they are one of your customers, you will have the ability to link through to it. And nobody else will have this ability. Of course, at the end of the day, it's down to the customer in the building, the service manager, whoever has control of the building, they can cut that access at any time as well. So It's secure from both ends. The secure login from your end and the security from the customer's end. They can enable access, they can disable remote access as they want, and it's all securely connected across our systems. To summarize sort of the benefits of a door entry system, so for both systems, the Welcome IP and the Welcome, we have these new configuration tools. These online configurators, you can go and search for the ABB Welcome online configurator and you will find this page. And maybe that should be another seminar where I'll show you how to use these as well, just as a note. But for these configurators, these are really, really, really useful for an integrator. So once you get used to using these, I can go in and define my building. I can define how many floors are and how many apartments per floor. I can define what is in each of these apartments. Have they a 7-inch screen, a 4-inch screen, a handset? What's in the building? I can define what the outdoor stations are. I can create a whole digital model of the building. I can then complete the project. The project, once completed, then will give me a full parts list for the building. Gives me a full parts list that I can export into Excel. Once it's in Excel, I can put my prices in and I can quickly do a quote to the end customer. Not only does it produce this parts list quite easily, what it will also do is produce a wiring diagram for the whole building, showing you how it all connects together. So for an installer, the main benefits are that we create a parts list, which is quickly made and can produce a project list for the customer, can quickly produce pricing, and produce a wiring diagram for the whole building. It's really, really simple to use. I guess you build 2 or 3 projects and you know how to use it after that. And I have to say, as it says in the last point here, it enables the user to plan and install a welcome system with virtually zero technical training. You don't have to really understand the products. It's helpful, of course, and of course that's always the best way to attempt this. But you can look at this and you can create your building, you can model your building, and you will very quickly be able to quote and manage your project from here. Something to look at, and maybe we look at that further down the line. Application. So when we look at where are we going to install this, what are we going to install? Well, let's start with the Welcome 2-wire. Now, Welcome 2-wire in a normal home, very easy. We can put a mini outdoor station in. We probably need a power supply and a few screens around the place. It's very, very simple. It is the cheapest way to do it. And you'll have a good quality system there that I guarantee you will work for years to come without any problems whatever. Main benefit, of course, is the competitive price. We can also upgrade existing installations easily. If we want to change the 4.3-inch screen to a 7-inch screen, if we want to change a handset to a 7-inch screen, very easy. It's just a 2-wire system. There's nothing else to do with it. Next version of that is we can go into a new build and we can do over IP if we want. We can put an IP touch light in there. So we can now take a step up from it. We can put a HD screen in there and we'll have app access now from this. It's great value for money. I mean, you really are getting a quality product. If you took some of these screens, and especially if you took the outdoor stations, the weight of these is, you can really feel the quality and the amount of material that goes into these frames for these outdoor stations. They're quite substantial, they're quite strong. And of course, that's what gives them their vandal-proof rating and things like that. So next step up, we can go to multi-dwellings. And again, we can go with a 2-wire system. We can go to simple 2-wire system. We can put in 4.3-inch displays throughout the building. Simple outdoor station, done. There's not much to it. Remember, we can scale this up to 250 apartments into one building. And another great thing we can do, you can see we've put into 2 apartments now. We've put a basic 4.3-inch screen in there. That's it. It just ding-dong from the front door rings. However, the guy in the top apartment here has decided he wants a Wi-Fi screen. So it's just a matter of take one off the wall, put this one back on, connected to the Wi-Fi, and he now has app access to his building. Very simple, very easy, very upgradable. We could then go into larger buildings, and larger buildings, certainly for new installs. We can go into, we've got a smart access point in there to manage the whole installation. We can put the IP touch light in there. We can look at all sorts of options that we can scale into this building. And remember, in this, we can now go over 1,000 units. So you're really talking quite substantial and quite large installations. And the smart access point really helps us here because it's a central management portal for the maintenance and integration of all the screens throughout the building. So we can manage all this, and we can provide end-to-end customer support quite easily. And added on to that, then we also have smart home solutions where we can add in free at home. We can add in other benefits. We can add in other systems. And what do we want to do? What does the customer want to do? We can use a one-touch 7-inch here. We can use some free at home wireless devices and actuators. We have now upgraded it from the door entry system, a basic door entry system over IP. We change it to a one-touch screen, which now gives us a wireless smart home system and gives us all the benefits of that in our units. And of course, if we have new builds, then, we can go with a big wired system. We have the wired system in here. It gives us a whole new feature of components and devices that we can add on. And if you look at the benefits, really, we have one panel integrated home automation. So everything that's on our system can now come back to one panel. It's really handy. We can automate blinds. We have light control, energy efficiency, all that sort of stuff can be built in. And again, it's via one app. So we have one app for local and remote control of the door entry system and the smart home. Okay, so there's an awful lot we can get into this. And of course, then we can go into KNX. We've now added a smart touch in here, an IP touch screen. Again, we've just updated the screen. We just changed the screen in the building. That's all we've done. When we do that, we now have another layer of freedom to do what control we would like in the building. And for end users, it's the flexibility of being able to do this, the flexibility of just change the screen and add on, change the system and add on. It's always there. We can manage it, and with simplicity and security in mind, we can manage the whole system for the end user. Okay. So briefly to sum up, we're here as your technological partner to create smart homes, bringing future-proof value to you and your customers. Once you have installed this system, any updates, you can change the screen. You can update the screen. You can change the system. You can add in, what would you like to add in? We're going to add in now smart homes. We're going to add in smart buildings. We're going to bring in all this sort of stuff. Really, 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 the value that is brought for the end customer here is second to none, I think. And we can do all this. We can help. And please ask us if you have any questions. And we're here to help for whatever you need. Okay, over to you, Jared. I think that's me finished now. Is there any questions?
No, you've done such an amazing job there, Ian. No questions. Very comprehensive presentation. Thank you very much. And if anyone would like to learn more about ABB door entry systems or inquire about becoming an ABB door entry dealer, just reach out to us at Ember Technology. We can provide you with pricing and some design assistance as well. So with that, I think we'll wrap up. Thank you for everybody for joining us today. And the recording will be up on the Ember YouTube channel shortly if you want to share it with your colleagues or your customers. And thank you, Ian, for presenting today.
Thank you. Cheers all. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye for now.